there. Meanwhile, national correspondent Mike Carter joining us live from New York newsroom with more on that story we were just talking about, Christina, with that woman being beaten with her own cane.
It's horrible. It's despicable. Mike?
Yeah, Bob and Christina, good afternoon. It's a shocking 2-minute-long viral video that highlights really the brazen and brutality that many New Yorkers have become all too accustomed to over the last several years. Take a look. Here's that video. You can see the struggle between the suspect and the 60-year-old woman for her cane as the unidentified male then manages to wrestle it away from her as she falls to the ground before beating her with it roughly 50 times in just 2 minutes. The video was recorded last Friday around 3:30 in the morning by an MTA agent inside her booth at the 116th Street and Lenox Ave subway station in Harlem. At one point, the woman who was on her back trying to defend herself manages to grab the cane from her deranged attacker, who then starts pummeling her in the head with his fists as his pants fall down. A few moments later, we see the woman lying motionless on the ground for a few seconds until the suspect decides to kick her several more times in the head before the video cuts off. Now, the NYPD eventually responded to a 911 call of the assault, but during the video, as we can see, no MTA workers, police, or subway riders intervened. Reportedly, the 60-year-old woman didn't even know the suspect. That woman was rushed to a nearby hospital where she is now in stable condition. The unidentified suspect fled the scene before police arrived and has yet to be arrested. Well, in just the last week, in 2 separate attacks here in New York City, a New York City subway train operator was beaten by a man wielding a pipe. In another attack, a subway rider was stabbed in the face and head while waiting on the platform for a new train. Bob, Christina?
Good grief.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you very much. Really disturbing. I mean, both of us take the subway, and this is getting, it seems like, more prevalent.
It is. I can tell you just last week I had a very scary experience on the subway of a middle-aged man looking at and making sexual comments towards probably around an 8-year-old child. And then we changed trains. I changed trains with the mother and her daughter, and he came and was doing the same thing to maybe a 12 to 14-year-old girl. Luckily, in my situation, someone did intervene. Yeah. A man kicked him off the train and found a police officer, so we need more people like that in the world.
For reaction, let's bring in Sheriff from Pinal County, Arizona, and Arizona Senate candidate as well, Sheriff Mark Lamb. I have my thoughts when I see this. What do you think?
It's horrible. I actually watched the whole video just this morning. I didn't know you guys were going to show this. I watched the whole video. He hit her with the cane 51 times.
Good grief.
Then he takes his belt, which you didn't see, and he whips her with the belt as well. Kicked her in the head several times. All the while, nobody coming to help. But this is what you're going to get.
Did you see any people in the video? Because that's one of the things I wondered about. Like, if I saw that going on, I'd definitely jump in. But there's some people that think if you jump in now, you end up like that Perry guy, where the DA goes after you.
Well, not only have the DA sent a strong message that they're not going to hold people accountable for crime in cities like New York, Chicago, and other places, they also sent a message that if you get involved, we're going to hold you accountable too.
Right.
And now you're going to see people that are not going to get involved. I couldn't really see. I could see people in the background of the video.
You could.
But they were on the other side of the fence. I don't know if they were.
Yeah, but
I saw nobody making an
fence.
attempt. The lady in the booth was just basically talking to the police the whole time, giving descriptions, saying what was going on. It was a despicable thing to watch. And as a law enforcement guy, because I want to jump in and I want to help this lady.
Right. By the way, if I'm there, or any guy that wants it to, what's the best way to stop that situation?
Act. You know, look, you may get hit with the cane too, but we have got to get back to this country of the American spirit of defending those who can't defend themselves and standing up for the rule of law. You know, you can use deadly force in this situation because you can make a reasonable argument that you felt like her life was in danger or somebody else's life was in danger, or at least
But you know what? You and I see that's her life is in danger because of the video. What if there's no video and then it's his word against my word?
You know, you got to take that chance. Yes. I still think what the guy did when he choked out that guy in the subway was the right thing to do. Yes. He was protecting other people.
A lot of people agree.
And sometimes the law doesn't go in your favor, but it's about doing what's right no matter what. And I think that's what we need now, more people that will stand up. It's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate in Arizona. We need proven conservative fighters that understand the rule of law, that understand how to deal with this rise in crime, that understand how to deal with the border. That's what we need, and that's why I'm taking this fight to the federal level, because a lot of these issues issues we're not going to fix on the local level anymore. We've got to take it to the national level.
I was going to say, to Bob's point, some people might just think to themselves, what's the point? I mean, recidivism, they're going to go in jail, they're going to get right out. And what kind of changes do you think we need on that level, on the lawmakers' levels, to stop this?
Well, we've got to stop voting out these people that are not holding people accountable. We're starting to see the spillover.
Hold the wrong people
Hold
accountable.
the wrong people accountable, exactly. Don't hold the good citizens accountable. We're treating criminals like the good people, and we're treating the good people like the bad people. And it starts right at the top. Look at what they're doing to President
By the way, you
Trump.
should use that.
Hopefully you're recording this. We're going to use that. Look, they're going after President Trump. They're sending a message on the national level, like, we're going to go after you if you don't agree with us. And then if you do agree with us, we're going to treat you with kid gloves. We saw a lady, a girl in Phoenix that was raped by somebody who had been let out multiple times. We're seeing people that have been raped multiple times that are getting off with probation. These are the things that we cannot continue to allow as American citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheriff Mark Lamb, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sheriff.
For giving us your viewpoints. And coming up, your latest headlines right after this.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime,